Today, I want to talk about why I have not followed through with Amazon, Google, or Facebook, or any of the FAANG companies for that matter. So let's get right into it. What's up, guys? Welcome to my lifestyle development channel. My name is Billy Figueroa, and today I'm going to be going over why I have not yet followed through with any of the FAANG companies. So let's discuss this. Now, there are many reasons why I have not decided to follow through, but what I first want to make sure is that everybody understands that this doesn't mean that I don't want to work there. Working at a company like Google or Amazon or Facebook, Netflix, any of the FAANG companies, etc. is a dream of almost any developer, I would say. But there is a lot of work that goes into, especially for a experienced developer like myself, to try to get a job there.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
If you are a more inexperienced developer or you just graduated college, it's a lot easier to get a job there. Or if you got an internship while you were in school and then try to apply or continue to work at one of those companies, it's a much smoother path than trying to join a company like that when you have 15 years of experience like I do. So it's not that I don't want to work there, it's that there's a lot of work to do in the preparation to getting a job like that. And again, these are all dream companies. They offer awesome benefits, awesome compensation packages, and just being in a room, for example, and saying that you work at Google or Amazon, everyone recognizes those companies, not just engineers. So it would be pretty cool to be able to say that and be the center of attention in any room, in any conversation. So let's get into many of the reasons why I have not followed through working for some of these FAANG companies. So this first reason I have basically called life happens. And what do I mean by life happens? Most of us like to think that we have a balanced lifestyle, at least myself, and there are a lot of things in my life that I like to do. For example, I'm huge into basketball. Not only do I watch a lot of basketball, I play a lot of basketball. I also like to stay fit, so I go to the gym, and that takes time. You go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week. And then there are other things, like for example, I am a married man with a wife who I need to spend time with, and we also have an 18-month-old daughter, which takes up a lot of your time. So in order for me to interview at a place like Google or Amazon or any of the FAANG companies, you have to dedicate a good amount of time for the preparation that goes into interviewing. When you have a chance or an opportunity, for example, to interview at Google, they first send you an email with a bunch of links for things that you need to be prepared for. Things like algorithm and also understanding the big old notation, data structures, as well as system design and things that you will likely have to know if you go on site for an interview and you're asked to do things on a whiteboard. Prepping for a FAANG interview, I like to sort of make the connection that it's almost like trying to be a doctor. The reason I say that is because in the industry, especially in the scientific industry or the bio industry, people know how hard it is to study and prep for the MCAT. I look at this very similar in a way that a medical student needs to prepare for a software engineer to prepare for an interview with a FAANG company. So for example, someone who is studying for the MCAT has to be prepared to know all of the following things: general chemistry, organic chemistry, physics, biology, biochemistry, psychology, and sociology. Now, if we want to compare that to someone who is an engineer wanting to get a job at a place like FAANG, these are the things that you need to know and study and be prepared for. Programming fundamentals, things like data structures, DevOps, testing, architecture aka whiteboarding system design, as well as being extremely prepared for algorithm questions. So this is again a very critical reason for me not being able so far to follow through. The amount of time and preparation that is going to take for me to prepare for an interview like this, it's gonna cost me to have to put so many things on pause. The second reason is because I like to control my destiny. And what I mean by that is that the older I get, the more I realize that realistically what I want to do is work for myself and build more freedom to be able to do different things. For example, I was recently doing a contract which allowed me to have full control of my funds. I own my own LLC, and what that allows me to do is actually get all the money directly into my bank account pre-tax. So I make the decisions about how I want to spend that money and what I want to invest in. Because when you work at a regular company, for example, and you're not contracting or consulting, they handle a lot for you. Things like your 401k and your retirement packages, your medical, and then any perks that they might offer you. For me, I am able to control exactly where I want to put my money. And one thing that I've recently done is buy a vacation property that is going to be used as a rental property, where I will be using it as an Airbnb or a seasonal rental. Ultimately, I would love to travel the world. That is something I've done before I had my little girl, and it's something I would like to do again. So it would be awesome to be able to control your own hours. So for example, I can be working out of my own place with a view of a 500-year-old building right across the street from me while I'm sipping my coffee like this, because we all know how excellent the coffee in Europe is. Or I might want to be sitting on a deck somewhere overlooking the ocean in the Caribbean while being able to do some work. These are the things that I aspire to do, and so entrepreneurship and developing passive income is something that I am very into because it will allow me to have more freedom. I believe that a balanced lifestyle is the way to happiness, and so being able to do many of the things that you like to do is likely the best way to be happy with your life and your career, and also be able to enjoy that. The third reason why I have not worked at companies like this is, first, let me say that these types of companies offer amazing benefits. They not only have amazing benefits, but they have a lot of perks. Things like being able to get your laundry done on site, having childcare for you at some of these companies, and even having things like sleeping rooms, and always having access to free food in their facilities. These are things that are amazing, and if you want to take the traditional role, they provide a lot for you, but they also provide great benefits and medical, etc., etc. For me, I do not necessarily need these benefits because I want to plan, like I said previously, everything for me and what's best for my family. And I feel that me having full control at the age that I am at now, I have a good idea of what I want to do and how I want to grow my money and how I want to spend my time. So being able to have that full control and not relying, for example, on a 401k or a company giving me perks, I can enjoy that through my LLC. I can expense my own food and I can do things like that, and I can sort of develop that whole lifestyle with perks for myself without needing that from a company. I feel like I've been preparing for the future since I was young, and I've always known what I wanted to do and always followed some sort of plan that helped me get there. And so for those reasons, I don't necessarily need a 401k. I'd rather have that money to myself and invest in rental properties or invest my time in companies that I want to grow slowly, where I'm having passive income come in through subscription services or paid services that are hosted online, and I don't have to necessarily work too much while receiving income from those sources. The fourth reason why I haven't necessarily followed through is because in the last year and a half or so, my salary has spiked. My salary has basically doubled in the last year and a half since I started consulting and contracting work. And so one of the main reasons why it's great to work at companies like Google and Amazon, etc., is because they compensate their employees extremely well. They pay really, really high, and their total compensation packages are usually north of, say, $200,000, which is basically where I am at with what I am doing. And so I don't have that much of an incentive to work at a company like Google or Amazon because I'm already being paid extremely well. And with being paid extremely well, I'll keep hitting this in the head. It's something that I can then turn around and use. Since I have all the funds fully allocated directly to my bank account, I have a lot more control than I would if I had, say, a salary of $170,000 a year. And when you throw in benefits and medical and the perks of some of these companies, you're north of $200,000. I will say the only thing that I don't have a response for is the stock options for companies like Amazon, Google, and Netflix, etc. These companies, I mean, I would love to work there just for the fact that I can have stock. I have gotten into investing in the stock market recently, and I am doing very well. I actually do have stock in most of those companies, and so that is something that I don't have an option for that I wish I somehow did, because their stocks are extremely expensive. I think Amazon is like $3,000 right now, and I forget where Google is at. So that is one thing that I just have no answer for with regards to these FAANG companies. The final reason why I have not followed through is entrepreneurship. I have already sort of mentioned this in multiple ways. I like the ability to be an entrepreneur and just kind of decide how I want to not only make my money, but invest my money and where I want to be, where I want to travel, and how much time I spend working either weekly or monthly or yearly, etc. Having that type of control goes back to allowing myself to have the balance that I want to have to be happy. Ultimately, we should all have a goal to be happy, and we have to find ways in our careers, in our lives, with our wives and our husbands if you're a woman, and our kids, and family life overall, as well as doing the things that you like, whether it's sports or it's travel, etc., etc. These are things that if you're balanced with all of these things and you're being well paid, I mean, the sky's the limit in terms of your happiness, and that's something I really care for. I always pay attention to how happy I am where I am working, and if it's something that I'm not enjoying, it's time to move on. Now, I want to drive this point across again. This does not mean that I do not want to work at FAANG companies. It just means that for my situation, I prefer exactly what I am doing right now. I found that I really enjoy this because I have more control over my time. I have more control over the projects that I want to work on. If I'm doing contract work, I can sign up for maybe a 6-month contract or a 2-year contract. So it just works for me. If you're someone who is not good with your finances and you don't have a clear plan about where you want to go and how you want to retire, working at these companies is the best thing you can do. Well, I hope that you liked this video. If you can relate to anything I said, leave a comment down below. Anything you want to discuss with me, any questions you might have, or if you want to share your experience and maybe why you haven't worked there or what your goal is in order to get into one of those companies, please let me know in the comment section. If you like what you saw, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so that you're notified every time that I drop a new video. Please hit the like button as it helps the channel to put the content out there and spread the word. And thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.